what happens when you go to an emotional experience, positive or negative, when you go there, you automatically drop into the trance. That means you automatically go there and you feel it. It's just natural, Dan. You're just there. Now, what we want to do is we want to restructure our thinking, and that's what we're going to get ready to do. We're going to cover the other parts of the journal. Now, we've also had somebody came up and they had a stressor, isn't that true? An event, and then when it came up, they felt it, and we tapped away, and all of a sudden now the problem's not there. You remember, was it last week, the lady came up and she had a fear of driving. You remember that? Okay. Now, of course, the fear of driving represented a belief about herself. All right. Now, it was a real feeling based on emotions and sensations, and what we did is we tapped it, and all of a sudden, as we tap it, internal things shifted. That means she didn't have the emotions, she didn't have, and when she think about driving, she didn't have that reaction. All of a sudden, her belief changed about herself and her ability to drive across town. Now, what you're using when you tap is you're changing internal representation. We want to get rid of all the bad ones. We want to practice and focus on the good ones. Make sense? Okay. Now, I will do this. I want to cover on page 80, and this is called the Metabolism tap. Okay. Now, not only does it work on metabolism, it works on everything. As a matter of fact, Michelle, and matter of fact, several people have used this, and they went to casinos. And Michelle, she's, as a matter of fact, I think it's on YouTube too. Michelle, what she did, she said, you know, she's flying or driving to a casino in Las Vegas or somewhere. I don't remember where she said. And she kept saying, now, of course, the tap is, I want to win, I win. I want to win, I win. I want to win, I win. And that's basically what she did. I want to win, and I win. And then she said, you know, before I pulled it down, I could see Mr. Moneybags just pouring money out. And she said, I have never, ever won. Ever. She said, the first day I won $1,400. The second day I won $400, or maybe it was $400, $500, and $1,400. Anyway, 3 days she won. And of course her friend sitting next to her, she's making fun of her. You're a fool. You're an idiot. But on the third day, her friend says, I want you to tap me. I want to win. And then there was another lady. Now, she shared that she's the one who came to, I believe it was a relationship seminar or weight loss seminar. I don't remember. And, of course, Brent had shared that she invited 2 of his friends. Both of them had fibromyalgia. One of them was taking 14 pills a day. The other was 19 pills a day with her for their fibromyalgia. They tapped away their fibromyalgia. But she also said, you know, I went to a casino. You know, I've never won anything. And so she said, you know, I did this one time. I want to win, I win. I want to win, I win. And in my mind, I imagined pulling it down and money came out. She put 50 cents in there, and she won $500, first pull. She took her $500, and she went and enjoyed it, and she left. Because this is what's very powerful. The mind is powerful. Now, the good thing about this tap is you don't have to invest much in it. You just do it. You don't worry about it. You just let it happen. Does that make sense? Basically, what you do is you affirm, I want, I have. I want to weigh 125 pounds. I weigh 125 pounds, naturally and easily. I want, I weigh. Basically that. I want, and there was another lady who used this same basic protocol. She always had low thyroid. Always a low thyroid. Every time she goes to her chiropractor, they test it, it's low. She starts saying, I want a healthy thyroid. I have a healthy thyroid. I want a healthy thyroid. I have a healthy thyroid. After she did that, for a while, I don't know how long, and she went to the chiropractor, you know, does his normal testing, and he says, well, your thyroid's back to normal.
I'm just not sure how it affects something external. I understand how it can affect you internally, but how does it affect something externally like a machine?
Because we radiate energy.
I agree. I agree it works because I did it Sunday.
What'd you do Sunday?
I went to the casino and I won $50.
How'd you do that?
I was doing exactly that. I was sitting there and I thought, is anybody watching me? You know, and it actually worked. But I don't understand how it affected something.
How many of y'all have seen The Secret? How many have not seen The Secret? Let's do it that way. All right, you should watch The Secret. But basically, how do we affect anything outside of us? How many of you been in a room, somebody walked in the room, and you can feel their anger all the way across the room? That's how we affect things outside of us. It's the power of belief, the power of our mind. And that's pretty powerful, really. And also, if you watch The Secret, they share. Matter of fact, I suggest getting probably What the Bleep Do We Know, the expanded version. Yeah, that's a really good one. Both of those are really good. What is the real problem? Let's say, for example, affirm. Okay, what you affirm, and say, for example, you want to weigh less. So say I want to weigh 125 pounds, whatever you want to weigh. All right. And the emotional level of weighing 125 from 0 to 10, and you feel like it's probably a 10. I really want to weigh 125 pounds. So you say it's a 10, okay? And that's your emotional level, and you may have maybe an emotional reference, one or two, that may support this. But if inside you have these programs here operating, what food does for me, it builds acceptance. And for you, it's very important to be accepted. And so when you go to Grandma's house, she's going to offer you food, and you will never say no because your emotional level is a 10 of acceptance, okay? And then, of course, you're feeling not very loved right now. And you say, well, and your mind says, well, go get you some donuts. And the reason why it says go get you some donuts is because when you was a little girl, Grandma or Grandpa or Daddy or somebody gave you donuts. It made you feel love. And so in your mind, you say, I want love. And your mind says, well, go get some donuts at the unconscious level. And your emotional level is a 10. So here you are. You got to go get your donuts, and your emotional level is a 10 here. And then, of course, you've had a rough day today. I have gone all day today without a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or a donut. I deserve a treat. And this strong emotional desire, I deserve a reward, is a 10. Okay? And then, of course, maybe you're kind of pissed at yourself. You feel like you've done a bad job and you're angry, and so you're going to eat the whole box of cookies. And that emotional level is a 10. Okay? And, of course, it's time to celebrate. Let's go buy a whole cheesecake, and you eat the whole thing by yourself. And then, of course, after you ate the cheesecake, your best friend calls you, comes over and says, hey, let's tap a little bit. Let's go celebrate. Let's go to Brahms. So you just got finished eating the cheesecake, you tap a little bit, and you go eat a whole Brahms ice cream cone. Each one of these have 10 emotional structures. Okay? Now, of course, you want to weigh 125 pounds. But you have all this emotional resource to add weight to you. Guess which one's going to win? Okay. So first of all, I operate from this structure. Everything I do is based on this. We release and affirm what we want. If these right here have more power, you will always have problems trying to lose weight. If you cannot throw food away, and that's a 10 emotional strength, guess which one's going to help keep you fat? That emotional strength, isn't it? You say you want to lose weight. Oh, I would love to lose weight. I would just love to lose weight. But you have a 10 emotional level, but you only have one powerhouse there. Whichever is the strongest, whichever is the strongest affirmation always wins. These, by the way, are strictly affirmations. They are affirming a belief you have about yourself. You will never you'll never weigh this if you have all this inside you. All right? Now, guys, here's something really interesting. I don't know if you've ever heard this. Do you realize imagination is more powerful than willpower? Have you ever heard that? Imagination is more powerful than willpower. All right? What does imagination mean? All right? Now, I want you to realize something first and foremost. Right now, you're sitting here with me, and when you go back to your imagination, such as when you go back to those happy memories that's in your happy journal, and when you start to remember that, guys, this is strictly imagination. I want you to realize this, because you're not there anymore. But that imagination and the emotions in that imagination is powerful. But if inside your imagination you have memories of, I want to be accepted, and the acceptance is Grandma giving you food, it is more powerful than willpower. Do you realize that if you cannot throw food away, that memory of being deprived, that memory of the emotions behind that, you can't throw food away or you'll get spanked, that imagination, that memory will always overpower your willpower. How many of you try to lose weight and you try to do it by willpower, and guess which one won? Your imagination. Guys, if you cannot change what's in your mind, the resources will drive your bus. The tapping is the skill you want to change your imagination. Now realize, imagination is really the memories. Do you realize that the past doesn't exist? You're not 5 years old, you're not 10 years old, you're not here from last week either. It's all in your imagination. Now it's just